When I got out of dental school, I was taught to invest in the stock market, probably like you, and look forward to retirement in your 60s and 70s. But today I'm actually closing on my eighth mobile home park here in Louisiana with my business partner. And I want to take you on a tour of what it's like from closing, walking the property, meeting the tenants for the first time, getting them to sign leases, and just to give you that experience. Because if you're the type of person that just watches your portfolio goes up and down, well, maybe this will jumpstart you into buying assets that actually appreciate and pay you now instead of later. Let's get going. All right, so the closing's done. As I mentioned, this was our eighth closing together, and it gets easier and easier. We actually met the owner there at the closing. He had, I think, out of the 50 lots or so, there was nine park-owned homes. So he brought the titles of all of those because now that we're the owners, we're actually going to be purchasing that those homes from him. And again, we purchase them, we turn them into tenant-owned homes. So we sell them off, rent to own. They pay a deposit. So that's whenever we go to the park today, I'm going to show you the process we're going to start doing on that. But here's the thing with the networking, if I would have just kept going to dental meetings, I would have never networked in the real estate area where I met my business partner, Caleb. And that's the thing. To me, probably out of everything, the most important part out of all this is literally the networking. Because once you get around like-minded people, you're going to start just naturally just seeing, who you're comfortable with or whatever. And then that way you can start partnering with people, you can start doing deals. Caleb had already owned several mobile home parks when we first met, but his thing was he wanted to scale and he wanted the capital. My investors wanted to start investing in mobile home parks. It was a win-win for everybody. But if let's just say you want to start renting like just a single family home. Well, you can network with somebody that already does that. They're an expert, right? And then you could just partner with them on it. And then if you want to continue to partner with them on it, that's fine. But if you want to do it yourself, well, you're going to be learning from somebody that already knows how to do it versus trying to learn it on your own, which I can tell you right now, you're going to make a ton of mistakes and you're going to lose a lot of money. So think about that the next time that you're wanting to do something. Think about the network that you're hanging around with. All right, so we're here at our park now, and the owner actually still lives back here, which is going to be nice because he is going to help the transition. Right now, nobody out of this entire park knows that the park has been sold. So as you can imagine, when we break the news to them, some of them don't take it too lightly. They get angry, they get defensive, like why didn't they tell me it was sold or this and that? Well, you have to think about it from the park owner's perspective. If he goes and he tells people, like if you own a park and you tell somebody it's being sold, well, and a lot of times they think, well, okay, well, the new person's going to come in, they may raise rent, I'm going to leave. Well, the park owner doesn't want that. He won't, of course, we want all the people still here, right? So that's typically why they don't do why they don't tell the tenants, just because they don't want to stir up any controversy or get anybody upset. With that being said, we have to come in, we have to meet all the tenants, and we have to tell them, we typically will give them a form that lets them know what's going on, that the park's been sold, how the new process is going to work. It actually has a QR code on it, which I'll show you shortly. It's easy; they could scan it. It automatically will take them to a sign up page for the app. We just switched over to using Rent Manager. We were using Rent Tech, but we're using Rent Manager there. They can sign their lease. They can sign it on their phone, and then it tells them how they can basically go pay every month. And it has all the rules, regulations, how to get in touch with us. As you can see, everything is paved, so there's not really going to be any issues with the road washing out, which some of our other parks, they have like a gravel type road or a dirt road. But here, everything's nice, clean, quiet. I mean, it's got a pond, it's got some geese over here. So, I mean, just a really probably out of the parks that we've purchased so far, it's probably, I would say, the top 2 or 3. I mean, it's really nice, it's really quiet, kinda reminds me back, watching, the Leave It to Beaver sort of, shows, everything's just kind of mom and pop, real nice, everybody's keeps their yards trimmed up real good. So we're going to start meeting the tenants. Again, I'm going to show you the form that we use here shortly. And I'm going to document this as much as I can so you know that what happens whenever you close on a mobile home park. And then if you're interested in doing it, well, at least you have something to go back on and take a look. All right, so here's the now that we've purchased this park, here's some of the forms that we give out to the tenants. And as you can see, there's a QR code on it. So this is going to let them know the notice. It's going to be a notice that the park has been sold. They're on a month-to-month lease. It has what the new lot rent is. There's been a little bit of an increase, and then some of these tenants will be able to get in touch with. Some of them we won't, but we'll follow up with all of them. What do we give them? It's like 30 days. They have 30 days.
We give them Louisiana law is a 10-day notice, but these we're closing at the beginning of the month.
Okay.
So we give them a 10-day notice. They paid for the month, meaning they get to stay to the end of the month and make a decision then whether they want to move out or purchase the home. And this is what they get. They also get a official 5-day notice,
Okay.
which is written on here. It's 10 days. That's a non-renewal of their existing lease. And it explains exactly legally what has to happen by May 1 for them to stay, leave.
Now, remember, this is Louisiana that we're in, so it just depends on which state. So I recommend that you work with a real estate attorney to make sure everything is by the book. But this is how we work in Louisiana, so we'll keep going. Well, there you have it, another park in the books. I wasn't able to show us passing out the flyers and meeting with the tenants just to respect their privacy. But as you can imagine, whenever the first thing that they do, they're looking on the sheet. Well, number one, they're surprised that the park has been sold because, like I had mentioned earlier, the majority of the owners don't tell them. So that's the first initial shock. I use Chat GPT and I input a lot of the forms and everything in it to make it sound more user friendly. I get it to help me with conversations to start with because I want to make sure that this transition goes smooth as possible. So usually first thing I say is, I introduce myself. So were you aware that the park recently sold? Typically they say no. And then I give them the form. I start walking them through it. They typically will look at if there's an increase in rent, which most of the time there is at our parks. They will balk at that. I can't believe the rent's going up, this and that. So I talked to them about that. I talked to them about the different changes that we're going to make. And then after they, calm down a little bit, we let them know that our property manager, she actually comes up and spends a couple of days with walking through, meeting all the tenants, because sometimes, these are older people. Some of them didn't even have the internet. Some of them didn't even have a cell phone. Some of them that did have a cell phone, they'd never used a QR code. So she's going to help walk them through how to do that, how to download the app, how to make payments, how to sign the lease, and that sort of thing. So if this is something that continues to interest you, I'm going to keep making these videos. If you want to get involved, like I am with my business partner, like I said, network, find somebody that's already doing it, network with them. If you have no desire to do that, and that's fine, we take investors. So if you want to invest alongside of us, or if you know of somebody that does their own real estate syndications, talk with them, get them. But what I would recommend, especially if you're able to meet with them if they're local, or even if they're not local, it's a good idea to actually go to a property, see their process. Anytime we have investors reach out to us that want that, we're happy to do that. That they can walk with us, look at our process, look at what we're looking for, what the rent is in the area, the lot rent, what we're going to be raising it to, the income potential, the improvements we're going to be making to the parks, that sort of thing. And that's important because you need to know the most important thing in real estate when you're going in with a partnership, a syndication, something like that. is who you're partnering with, especially if they're the ones that are dealing with management, dealing with tenants, that sort of thing. So I hope this information helps. I'll keep making the videos. Leave any comments below of anything else that you want me to show regarding mobile home parks. Take care.